死んじゃおうと思ったことある？までよ。
What if a single story could make you question everything? Your regrets, your pain, your purpose. What's the price of a life? And how can two souls on the brink of giving up rediscover the beauty of simply being alive? Meet Jury, a woman who's attempted to kill herself 3 times, and you, a death row inmate burdened by unspeakable guilt. Two shattered souls from opposite worlds destined to collide.
해 안 뜨는 게 또 우리 인생 같네.
어휴, 그러게.
This is the manga that didn't just tell a story, it gave me a reason to live. Published in 2007, Our Happy Time is a heart-wrenching masterpiece by Yumeka Sumomo. Known for weaving raw emotion into delicate art, Sumomo doesn't just tell stories, she bears souls. Our Happy Time is her magnum opus. A story where light and darkness dance, leaving behind an echo of hope in the void of despair. In just 8 chapters, Sumomo unravels a tale so profound that it doesn't just linger, it imprints. But here's the question. Can a condemned man and a woman who longs for death teach us the true meaning of life? When was the last time you paused to consider what makes life worth living? The manga follows 2 lost souls. You, a man on death row for the murder of 3, a man, a woman, and her daughter, and Jury, a woman haunted by her past 3 unsuccessful attempts at suicide after enduring betrayal and abuse as a kid. Their worlds collide in a sterile prison room, yet their connection brings a warmth that neither expected. The prison setting is grim, painted in cold greys and heavy shadows. But when you and Yuri meet, the dialogue feels like a light breaking through the cracks.
Candy?
You already know if I'm going to take it?
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it.
Their initial interactions are fraught with tension as Yuri approaches you with guarded curiosity, and he responds with bitterness, his guilt manifesting as hostility. What's the price of a life, and is dreaming of death the only way to escape the pain of living? Through flashbacks, we see Yu's troubled past and the crime that led him to death row. Jury's story too unfolds in layers, her family's expectations, the scars she hides, and the loneliness that drove her to the edge.
You're not where you want to be. You feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else. You said it. Well, say you could snap your fingers and be wherever you wanted to be. I bet you'd still feel this way, not in the right place.
Their pain is palpable, and yet, through each conversation, they find fragments of understanding. This isn't about glorifying death, it's about understanding it. What if happiness is not a destination, but a fleeting visitor, one we're meant to cherish, not possess? In Our Happy Time, happiness isn't loud or flashy. It's found in the stolen hours of vulnerability, in the sharing of scars that refuse to heal. Does the impermanence of happiness make it more precious? If you knew joy was fragile, would you hold on to it tighter? Or would you let it go, knowing it's not meant to stay? In one striking panel, Jury begins to sketch the world outside the bars, trees, snowfall, children playing, to show you the beauty he can no longer see for himself. As Yu looks at her drawings, there's a glimmer of longing in his eyes, a quiet recognition of the life that continues beyond his confined world. The quest for happiness isn't about erasing pain, but learning to find beauty within it. Our Happy Time reminds us that even in our darkest hours, happiness can find us, if only we allow ourselves to feel it. How can someone with no future teach us the value of the present? When we meet Yu, an inmate on death row, we expect nothing but regret and silence. And yet his words strike harder than the sound of the gavel that sealed his fate. He opens up to Juri about the crime he committed, not to seek sympathy, but to confront his own guilt. In one poignant exchange, he describes the hollow feeling of being alive while knowing he destroyed another's life. Is it possible that those closest to death are the ones who understand life the best? Juri, a woman who attempted suicide 3 times, burdened by a past she cannot escape, finds herself asking the same question. But when their broken worlds collide, their pain transforms into something unthinkable. Juri, who once sought the void herself, begins to find parallels between her pain and his. Through their conversations, Yu doesn't dream of escaping his sentence, but instead strives to find meaning in his final days, even as Juri discovers a glimmer of hope in hers.
웃고 있지만 하는 것처럼 보이지만 사실은 힘겨워하고 있다는 건 안다. 하지만 이런 힘겨운 시간 속에서 너를 위로하는 사람이 한 명이라도 있다면 너도 조금은 괜찮아질까?
What would you do if you knew your days were numbered? For you, every heartbeat is borrowed. Visiting days are only on Thursdays, so he writes heartfelt letters to Juri in between, expressing thoughts he can't always articulate during their meetings. These letters reveal his inner struggle and desire to make peace. For Juri, every moment feels stolen. To her, every conversation with you and every letter she reads becomes a step toward healing, a way to forgive herself for the burden she carries.
But when you forgive, you love. And when you love, God's light shines on you.
Do we waste our lives chasing what we don't have instead of cherishing what we do? Maybe our happy time isn't just a title, it's a challenge. To find joy even when the sands of time are slipping away. The manga's most heartbreaking scene comes when Yu receives his execution date. The panels slow down, focusing on his quiet acceptance. It's not fear that grips him, but a bittersweet gratitude for the time he spent with Juri. Through his eyes we're reminded that life is fleeting, and its value lies in the connections we make and the love we give. The beauty of our happy time isn't in its tragedy, but in its hope. It whispers truths we're too afraid to confront and asks questions we've buried deep within ourselves. What does it mean to live, to forgive, to love? Your life is worth living, not because it's perfect, but because it is yours. No matter how broken, complicated, or painful life may seem, our happy time reminds us that the mere act of living, of seeking connection, finding beauty in simplicity, and daring to hope, is an act of courage. Yu's acceptance of his fate and Juri's journey to rediscover her own worth remind us that life, even at its most fragile, holds meaning.
비록 오늘은 해가 뜨지 않았지만 내일은 뜰 것이다.